Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel and another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Streamlight model 88065 ProTac HLX, right? This is 1000 lumen, kind of like duty EDC carry flashlight. So this one features their 10 tap programmable button back here, which allows you to change it between high, low, strobe, and all that. But I kind of wanted to talk about my first impressions of this. I've been using this for about 2 months as my duty flashlight for law enforcement use. It replaced my Surefire G2X here, and that was it's a great flashlight, but I wanted something that was a little brighter, and the Streamlight definitely fit the bill. It's got great throw on it. I've used it in a ton of different situations, low light, indoor, and all that. It does tend to be actually a little too bright for certain situations, but it's an overall great flashlight. But I kind of wanted to talk about why this one replaced my Surefire, because the Surefire is bomb-proof. That thing is awesome. So one of the reasons I switched was obviously it's brighter. I wanted something that was a little bit more impressive in the lumen level and something that could throw light a little bit further. The Surefire does a pretty good job about 50 meters or so, but this one performs a little bit better out to about 75 meters. It features a nice little bezel here, the anti-roll feature, because it has these little flat portions machined into the body. It features this clip here that you can actually clip onto a shoulder epaulet or a hat or a string or whatever, and you can actually clip it 2 different ways. I thought I was going to actually have to remove this to be able to use the belt pouch, but it actually fits just fine. It actually rotates the, or if you rotate the clip here to the side, fits just perfect. And we'll talk more about this belt pouch here in a second. One of the other main reasons I switched to this flashlight was because I can use the Streamlight rechargeable large cell batteries. If you see on here, it actually features a little micro USB port right there. You can use just about any Android or micro USB charger on it, and you can charge these up versus having to use the CR123A batteries, which you cannot recharge. At least they're not commonly available in the rechargeable format, and you have to constantly buy new ones, which me working night shift was like, I don't know, like about every 2 to 3 weeks I was having to buy more batteries, and that was just getting way too expensive. Because the Surefire also uses the CR123A batteries, which they perform great. They have long-term storage capability. You know, they're good for, I think Surefire says they're usually good for about 20 years, 20 to 25 years, you know, for shelf life if they're not in a device. But I was like, I don't make that much money, so I gotta buy all my own batteries. So switching over to these Streamlight rechargeables, it's just been great. It saves me a lot of money. I bought 3 of these because I actually have 2 lights that use these. I always have one in each light, and then I have one on the charger just on standby. So this works great for me. Overall, I do like this. There's one thing I didn't like though, and that's the 10 tap programmable switch, right? So it's great in theory because you can switch it between, you know, let me see if I can get to do it. So you got high, strobe, and low, which is great. But for me, I don't really need the strobe option, and I just wanted high and low. Unfortunately, with the 10 tap programmable, you can only really switch it between like high only, strobe only. Like there was a couple of different options, but there was no just high low. So it's not 10 different programmable functions. It's just you push the button basically 10 times in a certain order, and you can change the preset programming on the flashlight itself. Now, as far as the 3 programs I've left it with, and that was high, low, and strobe, it's actually pretty nice. So the high is 1000 lumens, or about 27,000 candela. It says it has a 330 meter beam, which if you're hitting something reflective, yeah, sure, it definitely works great for that. It works, LED works phenomenally well on reflective surfaces, such as, you know, street signs, house numbers, things like that. It lights it up fantastically. It can run on the extended size battery for about an hour and a half at that. I mean, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but if you're only using it occasionally to kind of highlight something, you're not leaving this on for like 3 hours at a time. It does say it has a medium function. I don't really use it, but that's at about 400 lumens or about 10,000 candela, 200 meter beam. It says it runs about 3 hours. Now the low, I do find myself using the low quite often if I'm just like reading some paperwork or just kind of using it around the house or whatever the case may be. That's about 65 lumens or about 1600 candela. It only says 80 meter beam, but I don't think that's, I think that's really hopeful actually for the low. And it says it runs about 20 hours. And then it says the strobe, the strobe runs about 2.5 hours, but I really have no use for strobe. I know everybody's like, yeah, it's got strobe function. Like that's great, dude. I don't use strobe that often. I mean, maybe for traffic control, but I don't mind just using my regular light for that as well. So about 2.5 hours on strobe. It's a solid built light, I have to say. I've carried it, like I said, for a while now. It served me well. I carry it in the upward position so the bezel is actually exposed because I use this. So let's go ahead and talk about the belt pouch here. The belt pouch could be better, could be worse. What do I mean by that? So previously with my Surefire, I had their belt mount. This thing is rock solid. This is glass reinforced nylon. It holds the flashlight like super well. It protects everything, including the button. It's a fully enclosed loop, which was great for my belt. And I don't know if you heard that, but there's a little spring steel latch in there that actually clips onto it. It's fantastic. In fact, I was actually hoping I could use this because they're similar in diameter. I was hoping I could use this pouch for this light. Unfortunately, it's a little bit larger back here and it does not fit. So this one, it set the standards pretty high for me. I know some people said that they cracked and things like that. I had this one for about 6 years. No issues. No issues at all. I love it. The Streamlight. Pretty similar design. Not nearly as durable feeling. It does leave the button exposed in the bottom, so there have been times where I've sat down on something and just right, it clicks the button and turns my light on. Not too big a fan of that. I may put something over this to cover it, but my biggest gripe is that it uses like this kind of claw device versus just being a closed loop. Now I know that's a petty gripe, and I might just get some epoxy and glue this sucker shut. That way it just stays on my belt. I mean, it has not come off. I have had no issues with it coming off, but I just like that extra sense of security. It does also feature kind of like a spring device to keep tension on the flashlight, but this one's plastic. It does a well enough job, but it's not as confidence inspiring as the Surefire is. Overall, this light costs roundabouts of about $80. I think I got this one for about $75, and then I got the belt mount case here for I think another $17. These batteries are usually running about $20 if I remember correctly, and there are some package deals where you can buy the light and you get the batteries as well. I highly recommend that. They do not come with a charger. It's kind of like the new iPhone. They're just assuming that you have a ton of chargers laying around and that you don't need another one. But other than that, this is a great little light. So far it's been super durable. It has not gone out on me, and it's performed admirably from what I've asked of it. I just wish I could get a better holster for this thing, and if you know of a better holster for the Streamlight ProTac HLX, you let me know and I will try it out and I will see what I think about it. This one's working for me right now, but you know, that's always bound to change with me. I'm a gear whore, so I'm probably just gonna buy more and more stuff. Anyway guys, really appreciate you joining me in today's video. I'll leave a link for this light down below, and for the belt mount and for the battery and everything, and I'll try and answer any questions you have. But if you have anything, please leave it down below or go ahead and send me an email. All that's down in the description. I really appreciate you joining me in today's video. Please let me know what you think about the video and the audio quality. I'm kind of trying some new stuff out and seeing how it goes. Anyway guys, have a fantastic day. Stay safe out there. Hug a loved one, and I'll catch you in the next one. But today we're going to be talking about the Streamlight HL, right? HLX, whatever. We're gonna go ahead and wait till that fucking train stops.